For this test, we're going to do Kefka, Firelord Azula, and Bebop and Rocksteady. Bebop and Rocksteady won the roll-off, and they're going to start with Underground Stadium, Mutagen Man, Forest, Anchovy, Banana Pizza, Michelangelo the Ooze. Kefka will start with Hidden Cataract, Swamp, Light of Judgment, Shadow Lord, Evolving Wilds, Thunder Magic, and Jet. And Firelord Azula will have Mountain, Island, Clone Legion, Lowen Lee, Swamp, Waterbender Ascension, and Waterbender's Restoration. Bebop and Rocksteady will start off and draw into Novel Nunchuck. He will play Undergrowth Stadium and pass the turn. Kefka will draw into a mountain. Kefka will play Evolving Wilds, and then we're going to sacrifice it, look for a land. We're going to look for a swamp, and we're going to put it into play tapped and pass the turn. Firelord Azula will draw into an island. We're going to play the island and pass the turn. Bebop and Rocksteady will draw into Rat King. We're going to play the forest. We're going to tap the forest and stadium for black and whatever. And we're going to cast Rat King, Verminster. Passes the turn to Kefka, who will draw into Vincent Valentine. He's going to play Mountain. We're going to tap that mountain and play Thunder Magic, targeting the Rat King. Firelord Azula will draw into Trino, Dark City. We're going to play a mountain. We're going to tap a mountain and an island, so for a blue and whatever, to play Waterbender Ascension. She'll pass the turn to Bebop and Rocksteady, who will play a swamp. We will play the swamp. Then we're going to tap all three of our lands. Let's say for black, green, green. And we're going to cast Bebop and Rocksteady. We will pass the turn to Kefka. Kefka will draw into Fight On. We're going to play a swamp. And then we're going to tap 2 swamp and a red. And we will play the Shadow Lord. We will pass the turn to Firelord Azula, who will draw into Fierce Guardianship. She's going to play Trino, Dark City, and comes into play tapped, and we will pass the turn. Bebop and Rocksteady will draw into the Cloning of Shredder. We're going to play a forest. We're going to tap 2 forest and 2 black. And we're going to cast Mutagen Man, X equal to 2. So we will enter the battlefield with 2 Mutagen tokens. We will go to combat. We're going to tap Bebop and Rocksteady and attack Kefka. Kefka will declare no blocks and take 7 damage, commander damage. We will pass the turn to Kefka, who will draw into Waterfront District. We're going to play the Waterfront District. comes into play tapped. Then I think we're going to go to combat. Ooh, on attack, Bebop and Rocksteady had to sacrifice something or discard a card. We sacrificed a mutagen token. So for Kefka, we're going to tap the Shadow Lord and attack Bebop and Rocksteady. Bebop and Rocksteady will declare no blocks and will take 3 damage. The Shadow Lord will trigger because we dealt combat damage to one of the opponents. We're going to pay 1 life and draw a card. And we're going to draw into Poison the Waters. Kefka is going to tap a mountain and a swamp. And we're going to play Poison the Waters. And we're going to choose one. We're going to choose target player reveals their hand. You choose an artifact or creature from that. And then you get that player discards the card. So Bebop and Rocksteady shows their hand with Anchovy Pizza, Michelangelo, the Ooze, Nunchuck, Cloning of Shredder. And Kefka is going to pick the Ooze to get rid of. And Kefka will pass the turn to Azula, who will draw into Shattering Spree. Fire Lord Azula will play a swamp. Then we're going to tap that swamp and 3 other lands. One for red, blue, black, and whatever for Fire Lord Azula. And they will pass the turn to Bebop and Rocksteady, who will untap, upkeep, draw. And they will draw into Bebop. We're going to tap 3 of our lands for Novel Nunchaku. So when this equipment enters, we're going to attach it to target creature you control. When we do, equipped creature fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. And the equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample. We'll have Bebop and Rocksteady fight Fire Lord Azula. And it'll kill her. Then we're going to go to combat. And we will tap Bebop and Rocksteady. And we will attack Fire Lord Azula. And I think we're going to sacrifice the mutagen token on attack. Fire Lord Azula has no blocks. We'll be taking 8 damage. Because the Shadow Lord will trigger, because a creature dealt damage to one of Kefka's opponents, its controller may pay a life, so Bebop and Rocksteady will pay a life to draw a card. We will draw into a forest, and we will play that forest for our turn. We're going to pass the turn to Kefka, who will untap, upkeep, draw. Kefka will draw into the Darkness Crystal. Kefka will play Hidden Cataract. Comes into play tapped. And then I think we're going to tap 4 of our lands, one of them being a blue. Of course, one of them being a blue, but one of them being a black. And we will cast Jet. Reluctant Guardian. Going to go to combat. We're going to tap the Shadow Lord and attack Bebop and Rocksteady. Bebop and Rocksteady will declare no blocks and will take 3 damage. The Shadow Lord will trigger. Kefka will take a damage and draw a card. And he'll draw into Ultimecia. He's going to pass the turn to Azula, who will draw into Nyla. Azula is going to play an island. And then we're going to tap 5 of our lands, one being Swamp for a black. And we're going to cast Low and Lee. So we're going to search our library for a Lesson or Noble card. And reveal it, put it into our hand. I was going to look for 1/3 of the combo piece, Overwhelming Victory, but I don't have very many creatures on the board and it's a little early, so we're going to look for May Scornful Striker instead. Then we will pass the turn to Bebop and Rocksteady, who will untap, upkeep, draw. We will draw into Hidden Hideout. We are going to play Hidden Hideout. It comes into play tapped. And then we will tap all 5 of our lands and cast Bebop, Warthog Warrior. So we're going to go to combat. We're going to attack with Bebop and Rocksteady, and we're going to attack Kefka. And Bebop Warthog Warrior gives Rhinos Menace, so Bebop and Rocksteady have Menace and can't be blocked. On attack, we will sacrifice Mutagen Man, Living Ooze. So that is 8 damage, and that puts them at 15 commander damage in total. And we will pass the turn to Kefka, who will untap, upkeep, draw. Kefka is going to draw into Memories Returning. Kefka is going to tap 5 lands, one being a red, and is going to cast Light of Judgment. So it's going to deal 6 damage to target creature. It's going to deal 6 damage to Bebop and Rocksteady. And it says destroy up to 1 equipment attached to that creature. So we'll be destroying the nunchucks. Jet is going to, we'll go to combat, and Jet is going to attack Bebop and Rocksteady. He's got Menace, so they can't block. So we're going to be doing 4 damage to Bebop and Rocksteady. And then we're going to pay life to draw a card, because the Shadow Lord triggers. And we'll draw into an island. And whenever Jet deals combat damage to a player, you may exile it and return it to the battlefield transformed. Okay, so we've experienced some technical difficulties. For some reason, I didn't record this in between part. So Jet ends up transforming. When he transforms, his first chapter makes Bebop and Rocksteady discard a card and Azula discard a card. And then Kefka gets to draw a card. And then after that, the video does continue. But just thought I'd throw this in there so you know what happened with this glitch, which probably seems weird to begin with, as we're looking at a forest. So back to the game. So Azula discarded Shattering Spree. And we're going to draw into, Kefka will draw into Ether. Kefka will then play their land on their turn, Island. Then he will pass the turn to Azula, who will draw into Obsessive Pursuit. So Azula is going to play. She's going to tap a black and a blue and cast Obsessive Pursuit. So when it enters and at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose a life created clue token. So we're going to do that. Then we will tap another black and a blue, and we're going to cast May, Scornful Striker. So whenever players cast spells, they lose 2 life. Well, whenever they cast non-creature spells. And she's going to pass the turn. Bebop and Rocksteady will untap, upkeep, draw, and draw into a forest. I think Bebop and Rocksteady are going to tap 6 of their lands. And we will cast Michelangelo on the Scene. So he's going to get a +1 counter on him for each land we control, and we control 7 lands altogether. I think we're going to go to combat, and Bebop and Rocksteady will attack. Let's attack Kefka. So Bebop has Menace. So in order to block, Kefka would have to use Braska and the Shadow Lord. Braska would wallop him, but then he'd be able to kill the Shadow Lord. So we're not going to block this time. We're going to take the damage, and that'll be 5 damage. So Bebop and Rocksteady will pass to Kefka, who will draw into Ice Magic. Braska will go to the second chapter, so each opponent discards a card, we draw a card. Bebop and Rocksteady have no choice but to discard the Cloning of Shredder, because that's all they have in hand. Azula is going to discard Clone Legion. And Kefka will draw into Zodiark, Umbral God. Kefka is going to tap 2 black and 2 blue. And we will be casting Vincent Valentine. We're going to pass the turn to Azula, who will draw into the Ember Island production. Oh, I forgot on our upkeep. Obsessive Pursuit goes off. So we will lose 1 life and create a clue. We're going to tap all 5 of our lands, 1 being black. And we're going to cast Nyla, Shurshu Sleuth. There's nothing in our grave to exile, like no creatures, so it's just coming out as a creature. Azula will pass the turn to Bebop and Rocksteady, who will draw into a swamp. I think we're going to play the swamp. We're going to pay 5 for the commander tax to bring back Bebop and Rocksteady. Then we're going to tap 2. And we're going to tap the ability on Hidden Hideout. Target creature you control with a counter gains lifelink till end of turn. And we're going to target Michelangelo. So we're going to go to combat, and Michelangelo will attack Kefka for 9 with trample. Kefka will not block, so we'll go down to 8. And Bebop and Rocksteady will gain 9. Shadow Lord doesn't trigger because it's only if they attack Kefka's opponents. I think Bebop and Rocksteady are done. They're going to pass the turn to Braska Final Aeon. Not Braska. Going to pass the turn to Kefka. I was staring at Braska. He took over my mind. We're going to draw into Zidane. Braska will go to Chapter 3, though, so each opponent will sacrifice 2 creatures of their choice. And then Braska will leave the battlefield. So I think we're going to sacrifice Bebop and Rocksteady. And Firelord Azula will sacrifice Lowen Lee and Nyla. Since 4 creatures of the opponent died, that will trigger Vincent Valentine, and he'll put a number of +1 counters equal to that creature's power. Oh, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies. Okay, so a number of +1 counters equal to their power. let's see. So we had Bebop, which was 5. We had Bebop and Rocksteady, which is 7. So that's 12 right there altogether. We had Nyla, which is 4. So that's 16. And we had Lo and Lee, which is 2. So that's 18. So Vincent Valentine is going to get 18 plus 1 counters. So I think we're going to go to combat. And Vincent Valentine is going to attack Bebop and Rocksteady for 18. And on attack, we're going to transform Vincent Valentine. So Vincent Valentine will turn into the Galleon Beast. So Bebop and Rocksteady have no blockers and will be taking 18 damage. Or the Galleon Beast has trample and lifelink. Then we will tap for a red, black, and blue, and 2 others. And we're going to cast Kefka. So when he enters, each player discards a card, and then he gets to draw a card for each card type among cards discarded this way. Azula will discard an instant, and Bebop and Rocksteady have no cards, so they will discard nothing. So Kefka will draw into Hidden Grotto. And we will play Hidden Grotto as our land per turn, and we will survey 1. It's a Crossroads Village. We're going to put that in our grave. At the end of turn, it had too many cards, so we're going to discard the Darkness Crystal. And we will pass the turn to Azula. And Azula will, on her upkeep, lose a life and create a clue. And then she will draw into Bribery. We're going to tap 2 blue and 3 others. And we're going to cast Ember Island Production. So we're going to choose target, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it's not legendary and it's a 4/4 hero in addition to its other types. And we're going to copy Mage, Scornful Striker. Not much left to do for Azula, so we're going to pass to Bebop and Rocksteady, who will draw into High Score. We're going to tap 7 mana, and we will be bringing back Bebop and Rocksteady. I think we're going to go to combat. We're going to tap Michelangelo, and we're going to attack Kefka for 9 damage. Kefka is going to declare no blocks and just take it. So we're going to pass the turn to Kefka, who will untap, upkeep, draw. He's going to draw into A Promise Fulfilled. I think Kefka is going to pay we're going to pay 4 mana, 1 being a blue. And we're going to cast Ether. So we're going to take 4 damage from Mei and Zuko. From Mei. Then we're going to tap the Ether for a blue. And we're going to tap another blue and 2 others. And we're going to cast Memories Returning. And because we use the Ether, we're going to copy the spell so we get to do it twice. But we are going to take 4 damage from Mei again. So we're going to reveal the top 5 cards. It doesn't matter which opponent they let choose because I'm the opponent and the player. So to start off, Kefka gets to choose a card. We're going to choose Evil Reawakened. Put that into our hand. We're going to have Bebop say, put this at the bottom of your library. We're going to put a swamp into our hand. Bebop and Rocksteady will say, put the Swiftwater Cliffs at the bottom, and we will put the Tramway Station into our hand. And then we will reveal the top 5 cards of our library again. And I think what we'll do is we will put Xenos Galvis into our hand. They're going to get us to put Fire Magic into the bottom. We'll put, how about a Swamp into our hand? They're going to make us put this at the bottom. And we will put this into our hand. We're going to go to combat, and we're going to attack Azula with the Galleon Beast and Kefka. So Azula is going to take the damage, which is 18, 19, 20, 21. And which I think I miscalculated last time I attacked with the Galleon Beast. I said it was 18. It's actually 21, 18 plus 3. And Kefka, which is a 4. So that'll be 25 damage for Azula. And Galleon Beast has lifelink, so it'll be 21 we're going to gain. On attack, though, each player discards a card. Kefka will discard a Promise Fulfilled. I think I forgot to discard for Kefka last time, but oh well. I didn't benefit from drawing too much then. Bebop and Rocksteady have no choice but to discard the High Score, which is an enchantment. So we've just discarded a sorcery and an enchantment. And Azula will discard Bribery, which is a sorcery. So Kefka can draw 2 cards. We did 2 different card types. And we'll draw into Wild Rose Rebellion and Serpent's Pass. Now on the damage that we did, the combat damage, we will pay 1 life and draw a card. Drawing into Black Waltz number 3. Now we have to discard a whole bunch of cards because we got way too many. So we're going to discard Zodiark, Jador, Wild Rose, Serpent's Pass, Tramway Station, Ultimecia, and Fight On. Then we will pass the turn to Azula, who on her upkeep will create a clue and lose a life. And we'll draw into Whirlwind Technique. Azula will tap 2 to crack a clue and draw a card. She'll draw into an island. And we're going to play that island as our land. We're going to tap another 2 lands to crack another clue and draw a card. And we will draw into Scarring Memories. And why not pay 2 more, crack that clue, that last clue, and draw a card. Drawing into an island. So we're going to go to combat. And whenever we attack, we put X+1 counters on target attacking creature. I think we're going to attack with the 4/4 hero copy token of May. And we're going to attack Kefka. When we do that, though, we're going to put 3+1 counters on it. And because it's 3 or greater, we're going to gain lifelink till end of turn. Kefka will declare no blocks. And the copy of May, the doppelganger May, or whatever it is, will do 7 damage, and she'll gain 7 life. So she's going to pass the turn to Bebop and Rocksteady, who will untap, upkeep, draw. Bebop and Rocksteady will draw into a swamp, and we're going to play that swamp. We're going to tap 2. And we will use the ability on Hidden Hideout. So we're going to tap it. So target creature you control with a counter on it gains lifelink. That'll be Michelangelo. We're going to go to combat. And we're going to tap Michelangelo and Bebop and Rocksteady. And they will both attack Kefka. Because Bebop and Rocksteady know that Kefka is at 15 commander damage, so they have to block. So Kefka's forced to block Bebop and Rocksteady with the Shadow Lord. Michelangelo will get his damage through for 9 with lifelink. On attack, Bebop and Rocksteady had to discard or sacrifice a permanent, so we're going to sacrifice that swamp we played. So we will pass the turn to Kefka, who will untap, upkeep, draw. Kefka will draw into Seymour Flux. We're going to play a swamp for our turn. So Kefka is going to tap 2 black and 3 others. And we're going to cast Xenos Yagalvis. So when he enters, we're going to choose a creature an opponent controls. And until end of turn, creatures other than Xenos and the chosen creature get -2/-2. So we're going to choose May, Scornful Striker. So everybody else will get -2/-2, and that's really not going to kill anybody. But when the chosen creature leaves the battlefield, we're going to transform him. So now we're going to cast, or we're going to tap a blue and a black. And we're going to cast Ice Magic. So we're going to use Blizzard. We don't have to pay any extra. So we're going to return target creature to its owner's hand. And we're going to return May, Scornful Striker, to the owner's hand. And we will take 4 damage because we're casting a non-creature spell. Because the chosen creature May left the battlefield, we're going to transform Xenos Yagalvis. He's going to turn into Shinryu, Transcendent Rival. So he's got flying. As it transforms into Shinryu, we're going to choose an opponent. We're going to choose Azula. So when the chosen player loses the game, you win the game. Then we're going to go to combat, and because Azula has no blockers, we're going to attack with the Galleon Beast. The Galleon Beast is going to do 21 damage with the lifelink, but at that point it doesn't matter because we're bringing Azula to 0. Azula lost the game. That means we win the game. By we, I mean Kefka wins the game. Because technically I both won the game and lost the game. I lost the game twice. But won once. Well, Azula didn't have much luck that game. But her deck is a little bit janky, if you will. I made it play differently than whatever, so. And she wasn't really getting her land drops. But, yeah. That was a test run of the 3 decks there, and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.